This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Oh, yeah, the European final was on last night, or this morning, should I say. That's where Nathan's been watching all morning.
Yeah, sick for it.
Yeah, the Spanish too good for England 2-1. Now, going into this game, that was kind of the way it was pointing towards because the Spain have got so much artillery forward of the...
Yes.
You know.
So England were a higher ranked team in world rankings, but Spain had a massive tournament and they were the highest goal kicking team of the whole tournament.
Yeah,
right?
and you knew that it was going to be one of those games where unless you kick, a couple of goals, then you're going to be in all sorts of trouble.
They've beaten some highly fancied opponents along the way.
And the other thing is the women who are coming off the World Cup win, you know how good they were.
Yeah,
they beat
of course,
England.
Of course.
England have been without a major title for 58 years. Now, they were trying to break
I hope you're talking about the men there because the women won the Women's Euros a couple of years ago.
Okay, yes, I'm talking about the men. It was 58 years since they've won a major titles, and the whole country's just waiting to see what happened here.
Look, it's going to be there'll be tears in Alkimos this morning, obviously.
Absolutely.
Hello to all of our Pommy listeners. We know we're with you. Tough though, tough. And because I have been singing "It's Coming Home" for the last week.
I know. I know.
And then it's not.
There'll be a lot of disappointment. I mean, there's only be one winner, but it seems to be that Spain are winning everything at the moment.
I know.
Including Wimbledon overnight. Carlos Alcaraz, 21 years of age, is able to defend his title.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's party of Las Ramblas today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Barcelona will be going off its chops. He's been outstanding. He's always going to be the heir apparent.
Yes.
And he's starting to put it together.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It is definitely the changing the guard there. And so we're going to be hearing a lot more of him.
He's won 4 majors already.
I know, yeah. And what is he, 21?
Yeah, 21.
That's good.
Yeah, it looks like that. I mean, Novak's still at the highest level that you can be in tennis, and he'll continue to make semi-finals and whatnot in majors.
From Spain's point of view, though, like Rafa retires and Alcaraz just steps up. You're going, yeah. We can just produce the best of everything, as it turns out.
And they have, and they're doing a terrific job. In the AFL news yesterday, we saw that the West Coast Eagles played a really great game against the Brisbane Lions to only go down by 13. It was so interesting, Nat, that I know you were at the game.
Yep.
The statistics would say that this is going to be a 10-goal hiding. After the first quarter, after the half-time, after the three-quarter time, I'm sitting there with the people I was watching the game with just going, oh, my God, how are they only a couple of goals down?
Yeah, that's right.
And the last quarter, they just dominated centre square. They won 8 of the first 8-0 it was in the clearances straight up, and they were able to score 6 goals to 2 in the last quarter.
Yeah, they did all right. And also the respect that was paid to Simmo. It was actually, he spoke really well before the game, standing ovation from the crowd. Like everybody appreciated the work that he did. But it's, we're moving on.
He's moving on, and so is he. He's got 2 Hungry Jackses under the in the portfolio, and he gets paid out for a year, so it's not bad. Hey, we've got a double pass to see the Fremantle Dockers take on Melbourne this Sunday. This is going to be a huge game for both teams. The Dockers smoked Melbourne last time.
What happened
they
to them on the weekend, Shaun?
Well, I just think that I never thought that was an easy game.
Yeah.
So get a load of this. So 3 teams who are in the best form. So Brisbane have won 6 in a row.
Yep.
You could say that they're the most informed team. Hawthorn have won 8 out of the last 10. Who's gone better than them? Only Sydney, who are on equal to them at 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you how good Hawthorn are going. But they had their opportunities, and I just feel that missing easy goals, because they'll set shots after good sets of play, was the difference in the game, and they were unable to hold Hawthorn off. They lost momentum in that last 10 minutes in particular, and they had their opportunities to win. They played some really good footy, and equally they played some really bad footy. So... 13 24 10 if you want to go and see the Purple Army from the Bankwest best seats in the house. Caller number 7 will get them. And later on, we're going to catch up with Pav.
Yes.
I'm going to have a chat to Pav about the East Fremantle Football Club and the reasons why they aren't playing at the home of football, East Fremantle on Allen Street there, Nat. It's terrible.
I know, because the East Fremantle Council aren't good at laying lawn.
No.
Is the bottom line there.
No, there's more reasons to that too. On the weekend, on Saturday, I was down at Peel. I was down at the Thunderdome watching East Fremantle play Peel. And the reason, it was a East Fremantle home game that was played in Mandurah.
Yeah.
They can't get their shit together.
That's not good. Well done to the West Coast Fever, who won on Saturday night. I was there for that.
But Nat, on that,
they finished third, So
goal difference.
Yes, goal difference, absolutely. So it's on percentage. So they finished, the Thunderbirds, the Vixens, and the Fever all finished on the same number of points, but only separated by percentage.
All right.
Finals await.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
If you were watching Fox Footy yesterday, you would have seen the great man Matthew Paclivh calling all the action at the West Coast Eagles versus the Brisbane Lions game. Morning, Pav.
Hello, Shawnee. Nat, good morning to you guys.
Hello. Now, Did you get a bit emotional when I was there, Pav, when everybody gave Simmo the standing ovation?
Did I get emotional?
Yeah.
No.
I would have thought so.
but did you?
I mean, I thought it was a really touching moment, I'll be honest, and I thought he spoke very well, and he was very well received by the crowd. Even when his face flashed up on the big screen later on during the match, he was getting applause every time. He's very fondly regarded.
Oh, absolutely. I think. Well, I mean, if you think about it, 11 years as coach,
Yes.
Took the team to 7 final series. Won a bunch of finals, and of course won the 2018 grand final, which he and everyone fondly spoke about yesterday. So it was a nice moment pre-match. It was a little strange. You could hear even after the game a few of the Eagles players and a few of the Brisbane players saying, "Oh, it was quite engaging and it was good to watch." And then all of a sudden we had to play a game of footy. I think for the players it was potentially a little distracting, but at the same time it was the right thing to do in terms of being able to send off the coach after what had been a really tricky week for him and the club in terms of all the fallout of sacking or the parting of ways. But it was a nice moment, and I think done in his style as well, which is relatively understated, but at the same time, wanted to thank the crowd, which he did.
In 2013, when the great Pav took the MCG to lead Fremantle in a lost grand final in the end, which was against Hawthorn, and Simmo was the assistant coach. Pav, when I left the convention centre that night, which was the function after the game, I ran into Simmo. He was going home early. I spoken to him. I said, "Do you want to go and have a beer?" And he said, "I've got to get home early because I've got to go to my interview with West Coast."
Oh, wow.
The next day. And I said, if you're ever going to get a job, it's the West Coast job because they've got more money than any other club in the competition.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting this job, and I never spoke to him afterwards.
So had he gone out with you, he might not have got the job because he would have been
wouldn't
hung.
have got the job. He would have been in all sorts after that,
It would have been
Pav.
a terrible interview.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Shawnee, because yesterday, obviously on the broadcast and seeing, sitting next to Will Schofield, of course, and he was getting texts left, right and centre about all the guys up in the box getting on the sauce and having a good time. And so finished the broadcast, you could see Simmo was up there with his family, and I was walking out underneath the ground out to the car park, and Simmo was driving out. He was driving out of the game, or his son was driving him out of the game and heading home. So obviously it was time to go and spend some more time with his family and actually go and commit to that and have a break as compared to maybe hanging around and having a few drinks with the players.
But if you don't get out of that car park early, you've got to wait for ages.
You do, mate.
I know, it does take ages. But I thought it was interesting because I thought he might have been hanging around a little bit longer for a few drinks, but fair enough, he wanted to get out of there.
Pav, there's a few things I want to talk to you about, and it's not mainstream just yet, but I think there's a couple of investigations you need to take place in. Firstly, you're going over to the Olympics very shortly?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So one more week of Channel 9 news here, and then, it's all the build-up as of about this time next week over in Paris with the opening ceremony next Friday now. It's only less than 2 weeks away. It's hard to believe. And excited about that opportunity, obviously, there to be a part of it all with the news crew. But I'm doing a couple of interesting sports as well, Shawnee. So I'm taking on some hockey, which is great.
Okay. You know that.
Got a little bit of golf in me, which would be great, particularly with Minjee Lee, Min Lee, and Hannah Green, all our WA stars doing so well there and featuring well. And then I've got some equestrian.
So what do you know about horses, Pav?
Well, I know enough about horses, but I'll probably be more the thoroughbreds than the dressage or the eventing or the jumping. But look, I'm learning a lot. I've got a lot of study to do.
That's incredible.
I've been doing a little bit over the last couple of weeks in the lead up.
Well, you know what? The one that I want you to have a look at and possibly do a story on is a guy called Sasha Zoa, and I saw some of the boys over the weekend, and I'm talking about, so my older son Lachlan and his friends are best mates with this kid.
Yes.
Who went to John Curtin.
So he's a Freo. He grew up in the Freo area.
East Fremantle.
Yep.
He went to John Curtin all his life. I've seen him at many shindigs along the journey. And then because he's an unbelievable athlete and he's got family ties to France. Before the Olympics, France got him to sign on with them as a nation and pay him a lot of money. He should be. He is as Aussie as any of us going around.
Yes.
He's ranked 4th in the world at hurdles.
Yeah.
How is he not? How did Australia miss the opportunity to have him commit? Mate, he's in bloody George Street most days.
That's a really good point. Is he? I assume he's a part of the waste program and been within that.
He would have been, yeah.
Okay. So maybe he's not in the top 2 or 3 Aussies. Is that what you're saying?
But
he'd be number 1.
In the world.
He'd be number 1 in the world by a country mile. But the fact is, France had the opportunity
threw the money at him.
And they thought, we got to get all the best athletes because it's a home Olympics. And Australia missed the opportunity.
Well, you've got to go to the bottom of this one. Why we haven't been able to nail him down? That's interesting. We did see a world record broken, though, in the lead up to the games in Monaco. Jessica Hull, the 2K time trial specialist.
It's not an Olympic event, though.
No.
Not yet, no.
Yeah.
But it does bode well for the 1500 and her progress. So fingers crossed she continues that form. But it's going to be really interesting. Just the whole build up, being at Olympic Games, it sounds like the Parisians are going to turn it on.
Yeah, they certainly are. And here's my other investigation that you need to do.
Oh, yeah.
So on the weekend, I'm down at the Thunderdome, down at Mandurah, watching East Fremantle play Peel. It was East Fremantle's home game. Now, they were supposed to move into Shark Park many months ago. The grass was an absolute disgrace the way that they put that together. But one of the reasons why is because East Fremantle haven't signed a lease agreement with the council, Nat, because the council wanted it to be more of a community space rather than a football club.
Well, I would suggest it's too late for that, isn't it?
They've got no chance of generating any money, so they've gone, well, we can't even play here because we can't afford to at this point in time under the circumstances, Pav. When are you doing an investigation for 9 News?
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to do it as of today. I'm happy to do it from a commercial perspective as well. I remember this being mooted at the time when they were doing the rezoning. So a few years ago, when all the waffle zones were up for debate, and we sort of helped out and did some bits and pieces with the waffle and all the clubs then. And I remember speaking to the guys at East Freo in what was a really run-down facility that they were in, as some of these waffle clubs can be, and they were a bit nervous about it. So I'm not surprised to hear it has come to fruition. Is it? They haven't finished the development down there. It's a long way away, isn't it?
No, they've done it.
It's done.
The federal government gave them $20-odd million.
This is the problem.
They've overcooked it.
There's a bunch of different stakeholders, and that's why they're kind of catering to a lot of people. The cafe's open. You can go and have coffee there. The playground's amazing. They have it. The surface is not good, so the playing surface is not good. And East Fremantle Council have got a bad history of this.
Absolutely.
Are they training there as well, though?
No, they're not training there. They're supposed to have already started training here, but the issue is they cannot generate money by having it there. The council have put all these regulations and stipulations in that is causing all kinds of drama.
Would South Freo welcome them back down there at Freo Oval?
Yes. So imagine putting $25 million into the football club or building that facility now, and then East Fremantle will have to go to South Fremantle to break even.
It's a nice little skate park, though.
Great skate park.
Speaking of money being thrown at facilities, Fremantle Oval, I think that's on the agenda at some point and needs to be because it's a beautiful oval and AFLW games, even cricket and various things they should potentially think about bringing in there. And it provides another, I think, whether it's Leadable Oval or Fremantle Oval, I would be a big advocate for that because facilities for women's footy, for girls' footy, needs to keep growing. And I think also just having another venue outside of the stadium and the WACA to actually host, not massive sports, but bigger games is needed in this state.
No, I agree. And finally, I just want to mention, this has been a gripe of mine for a long time. I brought it up. Sorry I've taken so long. But when you're the umpire, the goal umpire at junior footy, I've mentioned this many times, Nat. And Pav, you've probably heard me mention this.
Are you going to get sanctioned by the league again?
Have watched footy for a long time. You have got to give a clear signal of if it's a goal or it's a point before you go to the sticks. Now, I've complained about this a bit. On the weekend, on Saturday, at Henry Jeffrey, just down the road in East Freo, Nat.
It's where I walk the dog.
One of the kids booted a goal. but we weren't sure if it was a goal because the ball, he kicked it so far, went down the valley thing and went onto the road path. You can picture this. And so the dad, instead of giving a signal, he ran and got the ball. So everyone's waiting to see what was it, a goal? A point? It's a tight game here. Focus. And he come back with the ball under his arm.
And everyone's like,
what's happening? And then he just gave the one signal, which was a point.
So was it a goal? Was he only doing that because he had the ball under his arm?
I still don't know to this day, but they had a kick out in the end. But
This sounds like an East Freo problem, Shaun. It doesn't happen at the Simmo Tigers, I can guarantee that.
Okay. It's an East Freo problem.
Oh, that's right. Golden Triangle you looked after there.
They got the net behind the goals.
That's right. Love your work, Pav. Thanks, mate.
Good on you guys. Have a good one.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.